Hey guys, I'm here, and welcome back to another 5 Nights at Freddy's theory. And I don't think we have the full story of 5 Nights at Freddy's, and let me continue with this. Now, from what we know, Fazbear's Fright actually takes place 30 years either after the events of 5 Nights at Freddy's 1 or 2. Regardless of which one, it still has an impact on today's theory. So since we don't know exactly which Fazbear pizza, or Freddy Fazbear's Pizza I should say, was pretty much this place was 30 years after, regardless there's only a 10-year difference. However, I want you guys to look at the evidence here. So the first evidence I have that this had a secret location before Fazbear Fright was, I want you guys to look at the papers around the building. Now, I know what you're going to say, well, why would that matter? Why would this matter if people could have just drew them, and all that kind of stuff? If you listen to Phone Guy, or Phone Dude, we should say, he said that they found a new set of papers. Now, the odd thing about this, guys, is that if you look at the papers, they don't look 30 years old, which is something that really bothered me about it, because if their papers 30 years old, they would be a lot more withered, crumpled. They don't even look that crumpled, to be honest with you guys. They look like they're not 30 years. I should just point that out. They don't look 30 years old. Not only that, they are not maintained in any sort of order. They're just left in a rotten place for 30 years. So they wouldn't be in a perfect condition after those 30 years. And not to mention, they are none of the drawings that we saw in either 5 Nights at Freddy's 1 or 2. Which leads me to suggest there was actually a place in between 5 Nights at Freddy's 1 and 3. Now, the second bit of evidence I have for this is, if you notice the box of the toy animatronics in your box in the office, you'll notice that they don't look 30 years old as well. However, the animatronics in the hallways or besides your door, for instance the Freddy mannequin, do. They look like they've been rotten for 30 years. They look like they've been decaying for 30 years. And even the Foxy hook in your box looks like it's been decaying for 30 years. But the toys in your box don't. The only thing that's really different about them is that they don't have their endoskeletons, which make them look like they're older. But in reality, if you were to put the eyes back on these things, they wouldn't look a day old. And my theory about this is that since after 5 Nights at Freddy's 1 happened, a new location formed up, and it was actually with the toy animatronics again. And this might explain why in 5 Nights at Freddy's 1 we see the 5 Nights at Freddy's 1 building. We see the 5 Nights at Freddy's 1 building, but the animatronics have a close resemblance to the toy animatronics. For instance, Freddy Fazbear, and Bonnie, for instance, being blue, a bright blue. You could say that Bonnie has a blue hue to him, but this is a bright blue Bonnie, the same bright blue that we see on Toy Bonnie. The only difference about this is that there is literally no buttons on the Toy Bonnie, which could be added, a small detail, and it doesn't really matter that much. But possibly, maybe the toy animatronics came back at one point, and maybe they made a new Toy Foxy for all we know. And that might be why we see the Foxy hook in the box, and that's why we see Foxy in the minigame. That's just a personal theory I had, and why they were ripped apart of what we see in the box. Because the Purple Man actually destroyed them, and after that, they didn't really have enough money to afford to get different animatronics again, because they were already going downhill. They didn't have enough money to start things over again. So they decided to get rid of the 5 Nights at Freddy's 1 animatronics and use the 5 Nights at Freddy's 2 animatronics to kind of, you know, make it look better, to make it look more appetizing to kids, but it still didn't work. The Purple Man ripped them apart of what we see in 5 Nights at Freddy's minigames on 5 Nights at Freddy's 3 after you complete each night, and that is when the company basically goes downhill. Now, this might also explain why we see the phantoms as well, as, to be honest, I really don't see why you would even see these phantoms in the first place. Now, they aren't caused by the vent, but the only thing we can really speculate is either the security guard is having flashbacks or nightmares about this place, or Springtrap could be causing them. Either one could be the case, because these phantoms, like I said before, could be they can happen before the ventilation even goes out, and actually some of them cause the ventilation to go out. So we know at this point it isn't the ventilation that's doing this. So this leads me to think that either the security guard is Fritz, Mike, or Jeremy. All the 3 security guards we've seen in Five Nights at Freddy's in the whole series, which is why the identity of the security guard is actually hidden in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Just something that always bothered me, that we don't know the security guard in the game. That, and like I said, Springtrap could be the one causing it. That's all we know about it. So, what do you guys think about this theory? Do you guys think that the toy animatronics actually became active again? And there's some sort of secret location that we don't know about? Because the drawings and the paintings that we see on the walls depict of the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 plays, or the animatronics, I should say. They closely resemble them rather than the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 animatronics. For instance, the Bonnie that we see on these posters and the Freddy look nothing like the Freddys that we've seen in any games besides Toy Freddy and Toy Bonnie. Chica is a bit questionable, but I don't think they're going to have kids drawing panties on chickens. So, that's just my opinion about that. But, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is actually a true theory? What do you guys feel about this theory? If you guys enjoyed today's theory, then leave a like. I want to go for 500 likes. Let's see if we can go to 500 likes. And if you are new to my channel, why not hit that subscribe button to stay updated for my daily Five Nights at Freddy's videos. But until then, guys, I'm Zombie Wars SMT, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.